Yokoso oashitare. Welcome back. As you can see, I moved. Welcome to the new room, same as the old, just with fancier knickknacks and worse lighting. But we're not going to dwell on that. Let's just get into part 3 of their story of the greatest wizard of ancient Japan, Abe no Seimei. So one day, our boy Abe no Seimei, if you want to know more about who he is, please check out the previous 2 videos so you can learn a little bit more. But our boy Abe no Seimei decided he wanted to go see an old friend. And if you've been watching these videos, you will know who this old friend is. His name was Kancho of Hirosawa. Now, who is Kancho of Hirosawa? If you want to know more about him, sorry, this is another shameless plug, but go check out the video about the Buddhist priest who kicks literal butt. We'll be family friendly and we'll just say butt. But, no pun intended, Abe no Seimei wanted to go see his friend Kancho, and so he decided to go pay him a visit at his place of residence. And Kancho and Abe no Seimei, both men of esteem, of extraordinary power, hanging out, chilling, shooting the breeze, probably have some drinks, talking about magic, Buddhist, wizard stuff, I don't really know. And as they're sitting there discussing the things going on, a gaggle of young noblemen and some young Buddhist priests show up. This wasn't uncommon. I mean, if you've ever looked at traditional Japanese architecture, it's actually fairly open. And so, other people showing up to the party was par for the course. Nothing unusual about that. But these young noblemen and these young priests come to Kancho and Abe no Seimei, and they join in the conversation. And of course, Abe no Seimei, being the man that he is, his reputation preceded him to some degree. And so while they're talking, these young, impressionable, excited priests and noblemen learn who Abe no Seimei is, and so they come to him and they say, You're the guy who's really good with the shikijin, yeah? Hey, I have a question. We heard that somebody like you can kill people like that. Is that true? Can you really do that? And Abe no Seimei, being a little bit older, wiser, and a little more down to earth than the rest of these young whippersnappers, turned towards them and told them, well, gents, you are asking a really, really deep question about some of the more hidden aspects of the way of Onmyo. I'm not sure you can handle the gravity of the answer. This is something only professionals and super experts like myself know anything about. But it is possible. You can't do it like that. You would need to put at least a little bit of effort into it, but in regards to things like bugs or small animals, I can kill them like that if I so choose. It's not hard, but as there's no way to bring the dead back to life, I'm going to refrain from doing that because that is quite frankly a very grave sin, and I don't want to go around killing things willy-nilly. And just as Abe no Seimei gets done explaining this to these rambunctious young men, suddenly there hopped out in front of them in the garden 5 or 6 toads, frogs if you will, and they were just hopping along like normal by the pond in the garden. They see these frogs come hopping along, and these young, excitable young men see these frogs and they tell Abe no Seimei, hey, we want to see if that's actually true. Do you see those frogs over there? Kill one of them for us, just so we can see. And Abe no Seimei, after hearing this request, raised his eyebrows and told them, my young lords, that is a very, very wicked request. Specifically what he says is, Tsumi o tsukurita mo kimi kana, which means in a very literal sense, Lord that creates sin. Oh boy, the kana is like an emphatic thing, like a wow. So basically, in a more technical sense, he's saying something to the effect of, that is a very sketchy thing you're asking me. But because you insist, and with that, Abe no Seimei plucked a blade of grass from the garden, drew an insignia, chanted a spell, and he threw it at this little group of frogs that was passing by. And this single blade of grass landed gently right on top of one of these frogs. It froze, flopped over, and died instantly on the spot. Now it was clear at this point that these young princes and these young priests didn't actually believe that Abe no Seimei was capable of doing this. Because when they saw what happened, the color completely drained from their faces, and all of their rowdiness suddenly just disappeared. Completely gone. Because with a single blade of grass and one spell, he was able to instantly take out a little frog. He wasn't joking when he said that he could kill things like that. And he also said that it wouldn't actually take that much to kill a human being. And so, that is the story of how Abe no Seimei got a bunch of rowdy youngins to shut up and know their place. However, the story doesn't end quite there. The final thing that this little story says is that at Abe no Seimei's house, perhaps because he was so skilled in the use of shikigami, or who knows what spells he was up to, but at his house, the blinds would, without anybody else being around, unfurl themselves and furl themselves back up, and his gate, without anybody being there, would occasionally lock itself, and all sorts of weird and sketchy things went on at Abe no Seimei's house. And you know, when I was in Kyoto not that long ago, I was kind of hoping to go check out Abe no Seimei's house, but I didn't know exactly where it was, and I was so busy with everything else that unfortunately I didn't get to go see where it was. I don't even know if it's still standing, but, you know, that's kind of cool, Abe no Seimei, again, most famous wizard in Japan. But apparently weird stuff happened at his house. And the final portion of this story simply ends by saying that at the time that this was written down, one of Abe no Seimei's descendants was then and there in service to the emperor. And not only had he inherited his great-grandfather, his grandfather's, his ancestors' occupation, but also his house. And he too, like his forebear before him, was a very upstanding and noble man. Nobility just ran in the family, it seemed. And thus is it said that Abe no Seimei was no normal person by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, and that concludes part 3 of our little journey into the stories around Abe no Seimei. And again, like I said in the previous video, these are not the only stories out there about Abe no Seimei. He is the most famous onmyoji in all of Japan. If you go out on the street and you ask most Japanese people if they know who the characters in these stories, most of the characters in these stories are, they will 90% of the time say, I have no idea who you're talking about. But one of the people that they do know is Abe no Seimei. They may not know a lot of details about him, but they at least know the name. So, again, if you want to know more, please feel free to look up some more information. I wouldn't mind knowing what other sources contain his stories. I'm sure there are lots out there. And I'm always looking for more classical Japanese literature to read. I like breaking down the language, explaining it to you guys. So, if you have any questions or anything else that you would like to let me know, please do so in the comments. If you enjoyed this story and you want to hear more, because we have more and more about onmyoji stuff. We're not done with onmyoji yet. Please subscribe, like the video, and share with your weeb friends. There's nothing like putting weebs in their place with their knowledge about Japan the same way that Abe no Seimei put these little rascals in their place. So share this with your weeb friends, show them how much more cultured you are in ancient Japanese literature than they are. Actually, that's kind of rude. I mean, do it with love. Do it with love. Love, okay? It's a joke. We're having fun here. And I thank you for your view. Ito kateji ke no koso haberi kere. And hopefully, we will see you in the next one. Goodbye.